Hello there everyone, and welcome to The Theorist, here with your host, JC Botero67. I apologize for the background noise going on. My mom and grandma are sorting plates, or I don't know. But yeah, I don't want to be like, hey, don't talk, don't do anything. So, just try your best to ignore the background noise. But anyway, we will continue with the review. It kicks off with Ciel going like, ow, ow, ow. And, his ears are getting pierced. And it turns out that the person doing that is Grell. We haven't seen Grell for a while, so it was kind of cool to see him make a comeback and piercing ears. Yeah. I don't know that I could trust Grell to do that. He does a good job, though, because it turns out well. And, Ciel has the sapphire gems in his ears, of course, like the anime manga. And, Ciel's kind of sitting there, and he's like, I don't get it. I don't get why I'm getting these blue earrings in my ears. Like, I'm not a girl. I like them, but what's the point? And so Grell's just like, how do you not know this? And I think he even turns to Spears, and he's like, how have you not told him about this? And blah, blah, blah. And so Ciel basically kind of has to kiss up to Grell, and is like, oh, would you please, teach me and give me the knowledge of the meaning behind the gems. And so this is what Grell had to say. And this is him reading from a book. The blue sapphire is considered to be one of the most sacred and prized stones in nearly every religion. It is believed that the gem can bring about hope and faith, love and wisdom, and good fortune and insight to whomever wears it. The heavenly sapphire has been used for centuries to ward off plague, discover fraud and thievery, and even preserve chastity. Ciel's cheeks flushed a bit, thinking it was a little too late for him in that department, as the orator continued. The Holy Bible itself states that the 10 Commandments were supposedly inscribed on tables of sapphire, and that King Solomon and Abraham each wore a talisman displaying the blue gem, using it to symbolize power and strength, but also kindness and wise judgment. So, of course, after reading that, I'm like, I'm sure Anime Cujo did her research and, that's all she found out, or maybe she had knowledge about gems. But I wanted to know, because I had never really heard about the sapphire having this many meanings and history behind it. So I was like, I want to look it up for myself and see what else I find. But yeah, no, Anime Cujo is right on the ball with that description. It's like a beautiful little, summary in there. But then it was interesting because earlier today I was thinking about it, and they mentioned chastity. And so I'm a big 7 deadly sins freak. I know all the sins, the colors, the animals associated with it, and then the deaths for each sin. Now I know chastity isn't a sin, it's a virtue, of course. But I remembered that lust's color is blue, dark blue, kind of like a sapphire. And so it's interesting because chastity also shares that same color. And so I was like, oh, I can see why a sapphire would symbolize chastity. Just by thinking about, deadly sins and virtues. See, that comes in handy, It's funny, because I'm getting a little off topic here, but, for example, vanity/pride, the color is purple, the animal is horse, and it's funny, I feel I associate with the sin, vanity, pride. My birth flower is a narcissus. Narcissus is the flower of vanity, pretty much. Then I was born in the year of the horse, which is really funny. And purple just happens to be one of my favorite colors. So I don't know. Having knowledge about sins and virtues like that, it comes in really handy. But anyway, getting back on topic, Spears continues to tell Ciel, oh, these aren't ordinary earrings. And so this is a passage from chapter 23. The earrings I gave you, they aren't just for show and have been blessed by the Pope many years ago. They will offer you protection and wisdom in the coming days. Mostly protection, though. Father Spears whispered, tucking a piece of unruly slate hair behind a small ear and smiling lightly when it refused to stay put. Yes, anything that will help protect you, he mumbled to himself, and Ciel blushed at the heartfelt statement. Okay, seriously, please tell me I'm not the only one who's just like, oh my gosh, cute, Cielium moment, because that's definitely one right there. See, if Father Spears weren't Father Spears, if he weren't a priest, and Ciel weren't with Sebastian, I would totally dig this right now. Because I think it's just cute, but I also think it's hot at the same time. I know that's not right, but yeah. Anyway, we will move along. So after a bit, the awaited visitors show up, and those, of course, are Dagger and Doll. And so here's another cute moment. I love this. Because it seems like Ciel is crushing on Doll, even though we know he's not, because he's so crazy about Sebastian. And yeah, the fanfic is about them. Unfortunately. Or fortunately. I love Ciel Sebastian, don't get me wrong, but, I think there needs to be more fanfic on, Ciel Doll and Cielium. And I'm trying to work on that. But that's beside the point. Let's focus on Revelations right now. So, I'm gonna read 3 passages, because I just found these were super cute. I loved it. Props to Anime Cujo. So I will say 1 and read the 1, and then 2, and yeah, you get the point. So this is the first one. Ciel looked her over, noticing the smattering of light freckles over her nose and a perfect bow-shaped mouth, and he concluded that she was cute, for a girl. The second passage. She smiled, her face lighting up and making Ciel's breath catch in his throat at how beautiful it looked. And the last one. Ciel found himself falling victim to the beauty of her inner light in that instant. Such a pure and loving soul, a true prize for any demon. And suddenly, Ciel hears laughter around him, and so Dagger and Doll are just laughing because Ciel is just, standing there, staring at Doll, breathless. His breath is taken away. And so Doll's like, oh, don't feel bad. And Dagger, of course, keeps laughing, and, he's just, teasing Ciel. But yeah, funny, cute little moment. So then Father Spears, at seeing them kind of done with their laughter and whatnot, he's kind of like, okay, are we ready to discuss the plan for tonight? So they go into that discussion for, a few hours or something like that. And then, time skip, and we are in the forest. Doll is kind of walking around, pretending she's lost. She's a great actress. And Ciel and Spears are kind of hiding within some bushes, waiting for the demon to appear. So then the demon finally appears, and, she's telling Doll, oh, you poor thing, you're lost. And then, we see sweet, nice Hannah turn into, this evil, crazy woman. So before she can suck out Doll's soul, Ciel jumps out from the bushes and confronts her. Doll, of course, has the opportunity to run away, and she is now safe with Spears in their hiding spot. And I want to conclude the review. I mean, of course, there's an author's note coming, but I want to conclude with the final paragraph or last few sentences of the chapter. And this is Hannah. You have no idea who you are dealing with, but you can hardly be blamed for that. Proper introductions have never been made after all. A finely shaped eyebrow arched and a sweet, innocent smile broke out of her soft features. I'm Hannah. Hannah Annafellows, Ciel Phantom Hive. She giggled childishly before fluttering long lashes playfully at the young man. And I will be killing you now. So, as Anime Cujo said in her author's note, get ready for another action scene, because we all know where this is going. So if I had to predict what would happen in the next chapter, obviously we'd have another action scene, because I know the last action scene that she wrote was when Sebastian was fighting the triplets. And so I know that she really wanted to have another action scene again. And so this is it. So it's going to be interesting to see Ciel actually in action, because we've seen him training, but this time he's actually going to fight it out with a demon. Now, my thought is that's going to go for a bit. I feel that at one point Ciel's going to kind of fall or just have an open spot, and so Spears has to jump in and help him out. But here's the catch. I think before Spears is even able to jump in, Sebastian goes in. And that's probably how Ciel's gonna find out the truth. And then he's gonna realize, oh, that's how he managed to survive the fight with the triplets, because it was 3 against 1. Not a fair fight. So, it could be that. But, I mean, there's different possibilities. I mean, Sebastian might not show up at all. It might just be Spears who jumps in, or something happens and Hannah has to leave suddenly, and, you know, that's the end of the fight until another time. So different routes it could go, but I think it would be really interesting to see Spears in action, not just in training, as we've seen him before, or that Sebastian jumps in. And I mean, that kind of shows that Sebastian really does care for Ciel. He really has fallen for him, and he's willing to give up his life or betray his side to defend Ciel. So, I mean, those are my views on that. Then the last thing I want to cover is another question that Anime Cujo asked in her author's note. She wanted to know what we thought of Doll, and then she goes on to say, she doesn't get much face time in these fabrics, but I thought she deserved some. And you never know. More Noah's Ark characters might show up in the future. You know, I think it would be interesting to see other Noah's Ark characters show up. And I'm sure that's going to be happening because we've seen Dagger, we've seen Doll, there's going to be more to come. So I'm pretty excited because I love the Noah's Ark characters. I wish they would have had an episode in the anime. I wish they would have been around longer in the manga. But you know, it is what it is, and in the fan fiction world, anything is possible. And it's funny because I was thinking of working on a fanfic in where the Noah's Ark characters would play, well, some of them would play prominent roles. It might be a while until I get to that fanfic because I'm working on other things, but now that I see Anime Cujo including Noah's Ark characters in her fanfic, I'm just like, oh, like I want to write my fanfic that has focus on Noah's Ark characters too. So we'll see. You know, you can thank Anime Cujo for even more motivation for me to write that out and post it. So anyway, that is it for the review, and I will see you guys in chapter 24.